I'm Matt Ward.
And I'm Chris Webber.
And this is the People's Orchestra and Show Choir podcast. As usual, we'll be informing you about what's happening now and looking ahead to what's coming up for TPO and TPSC. This month, we have an in-depth interview with our guest, Alison Brinkworth, a Birmingham-based journalist whose work with the People's Orchestra and Show Choirs has been as rewarding to her as it has to us.
And as if that wasn't enough, we'll be chatting about how you, Matt, came to be involved with the People's Orchestra and Show Choirs.
Can't wait, Chris. But before all of that, though, what is this month's...
The word of the month is cadenza. It is an improvised or written out ornamental passage played or sung by a soloist, usually in a free rhythmic style and often allowing virtuosic display. During this time, the accompaniment will rest or sustain a note or chord. Thus, an improvised cadenza is indicated in written notation by a fermata in all parts. A cadenza will usually occur over either the final or penultimate note in a piece, or the final or penultimate note in an important subsection of a piece.
Cheers, Chris. Last month, our choirs and ensembles returned from their much-needed summer break. Our Weston-super-Mare Choir gave us an incredible performance at the Moonlight Beach Walk in aid of Western Hospice Care, which raised an enormous £26,000 for the hospice.
And TPSC Wolverhampton celebrated their second anniversary and are looking forward to another successful year ahead under the direction of our lovely podcast favourite Lorna Parkhouse, who also had a fantastic day with her Shrewsbury choir at Shrewsbury Pride, where the choir have become a regular feature.
And we also had the successful launch of our two brand new choirs in Walsall and Cardiff.
I actually invited Pina Colada girl to meet some of our new members at a rehearsal as they got to know each other with some warm-up songs.
Oh, let's have a listen.
I'm a 46-year-old woman that has two children that are additional needs, and realised that I've spent a lot of their lives doing everything for them, making sure that they have lots of opportunities in life, and then realised I didn't do anything for myself. And the advert popped up on Facebook. So I came last week and was overwhelmed by the kindness and the welcoming environment that we came to. I've met like-minded people, I've met people that we share careers, I work in education, but it was lovely to have something where I met like-minded people that I had something in common with, a shared interest in an environment that I felt welcomed, and I actually felt able, and it was wonderful to just stand and sing with all my heart and enjoy it. And I walked out of here with a big smile on my face that I maintained to the next day when I went to work and told all my friends about what I'd done.
I originally found this group on Facebook. I just finished my level 5 performing arts course, and I was just looking for something in my local community where I can perform and sing and just get back to why I love to perform and be on the stage and be with a group of people. When I first came through the doors, I was really nervous. I was worried I was going to sound awful, but I was greeted with loads of smiling faces. The lady on the desk, when I first came, she made a comment on my t-shirt and it just broke the ice. I walked through the room and there was already a few people. I was greeted with smiling faces and just happy to be there. Then after everyone came and we went through all the warm-ups, which are just a giggle, just a laugh. And after that, we just get to singing. It's nice just to get out of the house, get together and just sing.
Sounds like great fun. And if you'd like to join our new members at Walsall, Cardiff or any of the other 19 locations, all you need to do is visit thepeoplesorchestra.com and click on 2 weeks free to sign up for your first 2 weeks on us.
Little notes from the heart, from the heart.
Hello, this is Caroline from the Cheltenham Choir. I would like to send a little thank you voice note to Chris Burgess. She has been unbelievably generous of her time to the choir and has recently introduced teas, coffees and snacks before the start of our rehearsals to give everyone a chance to socialise and get to know each other better. She is welcoming to newcomers and makes them feel right at home. She is friendly and dedicated, giving us all a sense of belonging to our growing choir family. Thank you for all that you do for us, Chris.
No, too shy to do it, but just to say thank you to everybody, really, who comes every week, and we all support each other. So, cheers.
I know it might sound cheesy to nominate your choir leader, but I do think Chris is brilliant. He puts so much effort in every week to making sure we all have a good time, we all have a laugh, and you can turn up in any mood, whether you're tired or you've had a bad day, and within 5 minutes you're laughing and relaxed, and it's always a really good vibe. So thank you, Chris. But also Phil from the baritones in the first row, who whenever there's a naughty innuendo, you always catch his eye with a little raised eyebrow, and it always gives us a chuckle.
Little notes from the heart. From the heart.
Our guest today is Alison Brinkworth, a Birmingham-based journalist and communications expert with more than 28 years' experience writing for national and regional media. She's interviewed everybody from protesters on the streets to Hollywood stars and even prime ministers.
And beyond the headlines, Alison's words are trusted by leading organisations and charities, and we're especially proud to say that includes her work with the People's Orchestra, helping us share our story, amplify voices in our community, and shine a light on the impact of our projects.
Hey Alison, how are you?
Hello, that's quite an introduction.
Hi Alison, how's things?
You can now tell us where we were wrong.
No, it's just weird hearing other people say it, but it's great to join you today.
Yeah, it's great to have you
Lovely.
here. I'm kind of new to TPO really as well. So tell me how you first became involved in the PR for TPO and TPSC.
So it was back when it was first getting off the ground, actually, in 2012. And as you mentioned, I've been a journalist for quite a long time, but back then I sort of wanted to do a bit of a career break, have a go at something in a different direction, and try some public relations, but I hadn't got any experience. So I'd seen about the TPO and they needed some volunteers, and got in touch and had a chat with Sarah, and she was like, well, come in and do some PR for us and get some experience, put it on your CV and see what we do. And so I started coming into the West Brom office and met her and the other volunteers, and because it was so new then, they needed a lot of promotion. So it was finding stories that were going on, getting it out there to the media and to the public and on websites and things. And so it sort of helped me twofold, that I got to really know what the TPO did. And back then it didn't have the show choirs or anything. It was just more about the orchestra. And it also really nurtured my skills in a new direction, which I'm always really thankful for them. And literally within 3 months, I'd found a job in PR, and it had helped me with my CV. It had helped me when I went to the interview to say that I'd done it and what it involved. And it was just... the TPO is so much more than just the orchestra. It really helps people with employment and trying to do something more with their life. And it really helped me to sort of break out and try something new, which I did for about 5 or 6 years. And then I ended up going back to journalism. I think sometimes you're at a point in your life where you're not really sure where you want to go with it, and you feel a bit stuck. And for me, the TPO was that place where they were like, well, come in and try something new, and made me feel quite hopeful and positive that I could have a go at it. And they were there to support me. So that's how I got involved, first of all.
Do you know, that's such a recurring theme that we hear quite a lot, and it's so lovely. Like, honestly, it fills my heart hearing it every time from people. And it kind of always seems to stem from Sarah, you know, being really inspirational and, you know, and always being ready to give people a go and to try things. You know, I would imagine that that's the kind of experience that you had with Sarah at that first moment.
Yes, definitely. I mean, she was very much very positive and sort of, you've got skills that we can use and other people can use, and you've just got to realise them. And she was very much at that time as well, come into the office and see other people and not just working from home, which we all do a lot more now. But I think when you're around other people as well, you pick up other things and you realise maybe how you can help people and how they can help you. And I think she's always looking forward, and she recognises things in people that maybe they can't see in themselves. And I definitely felt that when I was around her, and that's why I stayed involved with the TPO, and now I do some work for them with the website and promoting things, because I'm always quite thankful. And then once you've become, I think this is another theme, that once you've been involved with them, you feel part of the family.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that theme comes up a lot, doesn't it? The family.
All the time. And that, I think, is what makes TPO so special. It's that whole family theme, isn't it? That community. It is more than just an orchestra. It's more than just a choir. It's more than an organisation. You do genuinely feel like it's a family. And I think that is you've really nailed that there, Alison. That's really what makes it so brilliant and so unique.
And because I talk to a lot of people connected to TPO to write about them, I sort of hear that firsthand all the time. Like there's somebody in the show choir, and he was saying how when he goes, he leaves feeling really happy and inspired, and like that's what life is all about, and he gets to socialise a bit and feel like the music really enriches his life. And then you've got I was talking to a girl called Farah who's just left, and she came through a sort of job centre scheme, and then she got part-time work with the TPO, and now she's going on to a whole new career because of them, into a council under procurement. And she was saying how it's because of the job schemes that the TPO have done that she's actually now got this whole new direction, and she can see like a whole profession she's going into. But it's so vast, really, like the benefits advice line that they do, and so it's no wonder that like they've won the Queen's Award for voluntary service and that, because it's just so extensive.
Yeah. So obviously you write for the mainstream media and you also write for the charity. Do you have to change your approach? Like, how does it work in terms of, the content, the way you write things, the way you create things? What can you talk us through that?
Yeah, so actually it's a bit more enjoyable when I get to write for the TPO, because I guess it's a bit like how journalism used to be when we had lots more local papers and a bit more in-depth and very human-led. Unfortunately, like a lot of the work now I do with national, regional papers is very much about it's shorter and getting attention. It's not so much clickbait, but, you have to have that sort of... it's about celebrities or... attention grabbing, whereas when I write for the TPO I can do it much longer and really get to the heart of things and the people involved in it, and they're more in-depth features that I think is more niche, because the people reading it are involved with us and they want to see that. So I really enjoy that side of things, because it gives me time to get to sort of talk to people a lot longer and understand where they're coming from and how they feel, and hopefully that reflects in the articles as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's centred around the community of TPO, TPSC, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like that, community is so big within it, and with more people joining all the time, it's quite funny because, like you say, about the themes that constantly come up and how they instantly feel like part of a community when they start getting involved.
Yeah.
So, and lastly, you talk about what you get from it through the work that you're doing, but what do you get from it through the music and performance side of it? Do you get involved in that side of things?
So I'm not very musical at all. I know Chris would probably disagree. You probably think everyone can sing, but I haven't really got a singing voice.
No,
although I
will say, sorry, Alison, everyone can sing, just to varying degrees.
Yeah. And so I'm not musical, but I have been to sort of listen to TPO concerts, and it's just wonderful occasions, and the sort of venues that they get, it's just magnificent, really. Some of the best artists in the world perform at them, and they're doing it. And I think to see people's faces and the enjoyment and relaxation that you get from music being performed live is unbelievable. So for me, it's the sort of audience side of it, and just seeing how it brings happiness to other people.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, fantastic.
I love that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Well, I mean, thanks for all the great work that you do for TPO and TPSC. It's lovely to hear. It's lovely to hear your passion as well.
Oh,
yes, and don't forget, Alison, if you ever need a star for your next, written, grand thing, I am available at a moderate fee, very moderate fee. You're welcome.
Well, if you've got a passion for writing and would like to share your experience as a member of one of our choirs or ensembles, or maybe you've had the pleasure of seeing us live at one of our many events held throughout the year, drop us an email at hello@thepeoplesorchestra.com to find out how.
And speaking of volunteering, Matt.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Tables are turned.
So it's got to be your first time for you to be actually on the receiving end of the inquisition.
Yeah, absolutely. I've put you through it a couple of times, Chris. So
yes, and this is my turn to get you back. So let me start first and foremost with, you had nothing to do with the show choir or the orchestra. You're not a member at all. So how did you hear about us? What made you think to yourself, I'd love to get involved with that organisation?
Well, I'm friends with one of your members, actually Pina Colada girl, and she was telling me about the organisation and how much it gives to the members who sing, how much it gives back to the community in terms of helping people. And I just thought it was a really worthy charity to work with. And then after meeting yourself and meeting and interviewing Sarah, I thought, I'm going to stick with this. I really love this organisation.
I love that. Again, it's another one of those recurring themes, isn't it? Where as you get to know the organisation a little bit better, it just tugs at those heartstrings, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing that disappoints for me. I feel like I said to Sarah before when we were interviewing that she's kind of set up a win-win-win scenario, because she's employing people, she's getting people back into other work and helping people with benefits. But then, where that money is coming from through the members, people are getting so much reward through being a member and in singing and playing in an orchestra. And I understood that she set it up because her daughter had nowhere to actually be playing when she had left the education system. And I said, I'm a musician myself too. So I think is such an important thing, to have this community that is there to help people to be able to play music once they've left full-time education. So, yeah, it's a winner all round for me.
So Pina Colada girl must have been already saying quite a lot of, amazing stuff. Did it require a few Pina Coladas from your part to take her word for how good the organisation was? Or was she just genuinely really convincing?
I'm not saying that we didn't.
How did that go?
Yeah, I'm not saying that we didn't have I
want to know the details, Matt. I want to know the bar. And I want to know how many you'd had.
Well, I think we'd had a few. We'd had a good meal and a few whiskies. But no, I mean, it was actually nothing to do with that. It was just that it just sounded very wholesome. And actually, I produce, present, create, and also teach people how to make podcasts, either for their business or just for themselves, for their own amusement. But I wanted a charity that I could volunteer for to do this work and showcase what I was doing. And this being a relatively small charity, but where it seemed like all of the revenue that the charity was making was being put back into the community, but also that it actually gave something to people with time, and that they were able to indulge a hobby as well that was so great for their mental health, was something that really won through for me.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that story. So how do you fit all of this in? Because you're a very busy man with your business, with working with other organisations and companies. Quite a lot that I would imagine is quite high profile. So how do you squeeze all of this in?
Well, it takes me around a day, maybe a day and a half in the month. It's time that I'm willing to give. It works with my interests as well. I just make it work. And also, I mean, you guys, Chris and Pina Colada Girl, with the scripting that you're doing and the production that goes into these shows, I'm not doing it alone. So it's a lot of fun to do.
You mentioned earlier that you are a musician.
I am.
Tell us a bit about that. What do you play? Where do you play?
I actually play bass guitar in a karaoke band.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I need to know more about this. Can I just interject really quickly there? The bass guitar is arguably the coolest of all instruments.
Yep. I'm doing a little hair flip here. You can't see this.
So what's a karaoke band when it's at home?
So we have a repertoire of around 150 songs. When we play a venue, we put a menu of those songs out into the audience, and like with traditional karaoke backing tracks, they can choose a song they would like to sing. They write it down. We then get as many of those people up onto the stage to sing with us as possible. But rather than playing with a backing track, they're playing with a live band.
That is superb. To wrap it up, I kind of just wanted you to just sum up, if you can, what you've taken out the most from, not specifically because you've already spoken about, about what the charity or the organisation means to you, and why you're doing this, but what you've taken out from whether that's professionally or personally, from doing this particular podcasting project, maybe compared to other podcasting projects that you've had before.
I really enjoy the process of sort of creating something from scratch, and also getting you guys more involved in it as well. I think we've all learned.
I've loved that, by the way.
I think we've all learned, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think many of my clients come to me with a preconceived idea of what their podcast is going to be, and that's fine, and I'm very, very happy to do that. But what I love about this podcast is that I had introduced the idea of a magazine show to you, that we very clearly, between us, determined what our drivers for the podcast are. So where we want to, or what calls to action we want to encourage from people that are listening, whether that's volunteering or making donations or signing up as members, and to put together on a monthly basis a show that supports all of those things. It's lovely to think that each month we've achieved what we've set out to do. And that's the joy of it for me.
I totally agree with you, Matt. I mean, you've taught me a lot. You and Pina Colada Girl have really taught me a lot. I mean, I didn't really know much about podcasts. And when we first started this project, you'll remember yourselves, I had no idea what we were doing and how it was going to work. But you've really taught me the value of the podcast. And I think for me, being on this journey with you guys has really, I think the thing that's really made it so powerful for me is being able to get people's stories out to the population, to the general public, and, the stories that people don't know about, and just being able to give those people a platform to be able to share that has just been it's been really wonderful. So
I must say as well, actually, I mean, it's been great also to see you sort of growing from, you were doing an interview back in January, February, to now you're co-hosting with me. And, you know, your skills in hosting, you're brilliant. And I've really seen you grow in that area over the last year as well. And that's been a real joy to watch.
Oh, cheers, Matt. No, I really appreciate you saying that. And thank you. Genuinely, thank you for volunteering so much of your time and your expertise.
You're welcome.
So I really appreciate that.
Can I just say, Chris, before we sign off, that I'd also like to give a shout out to Pina Colada girl, who is always sitting there in the wings throughout while we do all of these podcasts. And we really missed her for the episode where she was in hospital earlier in the summer, and her tireless work in terms of scripting and all of that. I mean, it's just, doing this podcast wouldn't be possible without her.
I totally agree with you. I've got a bit of a crazy idea here, because obviously she is in the background right now. She is with on all of our podcasts. Why don't we just bring her in? Why don't we get her to unmute her microphone and we'll have a good chat to her?
Come on then, Pina Colada girl. Would you be up for that?
Oh,
there she is.
Normally, hello.
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 Pina Colada girl, your first name is Jen. So we'll if you're happy for us to call you Jen, that'd be lovely.
I am.
Welcome to the podcast, Jen. I mean, you're always here anyway, but welcome. I'm glad everybody can hear you
in the background.
Yeah. So, how did you get involved with TPO TPSC?
Wow. I joined the choirs because I was originally part of another choir. I moved. Apparently this one's better. So I'd been told. Chris was a big law, as I think he is for a lot of people.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Came along for my 2 weeks trial, like most people do. Fell in love. And it was exactly what I was looking for. The spark between Chris and Anthony is undeniable. It's not just the interplay between the two of them. It isn't just that they are fun. They're also really friendly.
So I was really fortunate for you to join the choir. It was actually when we were considerably smaller, because you do bring a certain energy and bubbliness to any room that you're in. But I wanted to take this opportunity just to delve into something a little bit deeper, if that's all right. I can see on your face you're looking panicked right now as to what I'm going to ask you.
No, that's...
But I know a little bit about your story. I know that this will resonate with other people that are listening. But after a period of time in the choir, you came to speak to me, I remember, and you said, I might have to leave because you were going through some difficult times, and we managed to get through them. And I was wondering if you'd be willing to chat a little bit about that and just maybe share what the choir meant for you at that time.
At that point in time, the choir was absolutely everything. There was a point for me when the choir was all I had. So it was just me and my kids. I'd left a DV relationship. I thought I would have to leave because I would have no way of leaving my kids in the evenings to be able to come to choir. And I approached you and I said, I'm going to have to leave. It's been amazing and I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss having a support network. I'm going to miss my friends. I'm going to miss having a time when I can do something for me. I'm just going to miss sitting in a room full of people and feeling accepted. And you said, no, you're not. You're not leaving. You're going to bring your kids and they are going to come just like my mum did with me, and they are going to hang on to your skirt tails and they're going to watch you sing, and you are going to still feel accepted and you are going to still feel part of something, and that's it. You're just going to crack on. And on a Wednesday, my kids came to choir, and all through the summer, every one of the performances that I did, my kids came, and every little old lady in that choir made sure that my kids were okay and made sure they had snacks and made sure that they weren't running amok. And every time my kids stood up and I panicked in case that they were going to disturb anyone. They all just went, stop hovering, stop being that helicopter mum. And they all said, it's fine, they're kids. And things got better. And I carried on coming, and I carried on feeling like I could get through things. And sometimes I would come and I would mime because I wasn't feeling okay. And just having that space where I could be in that sound and just feel the energy of everyone in that room doing something together, and have you being an absolute muppet and just being daft on a Wednesday, and being yourself and dancing around, and you and Anthony having a fight over who got to close the curtains was just enough to keep me going. And it really was. There were times when I thought I really wasn't going to make it, but that was it. That was what did it. That was what kept me holding on, and you have no idea how grateful I am. And then when Matt said he wanted to do something for a charity, it was a no-brainer. There was no other charity that was ever going to mean more to me than this one, because it gives so much back, not just to its members, but the community as well. It does so much for people. And when he said, I want to find a charity, I was like, it's got to be this one. It has got to be an organisation that gives people a space and a voice, and it has got to be this one where every single member of staff not just gives themselves, but they pull together. And on event days, watching you guys run around behind the scenes, and everyone walks in for those members, and everyone, it doesn't matter if you are on the board of trustees, it doesn't matter if you are working in the office, everyone, you're all hauling bits of kit, you're all lifting these massive big drums, you are all running around like headless chickens. I've never seen anything like it. And then Matt was like, how do we make it happen? How do we do more for them? And we were like, let's have it, let's do it. And then we had this amazing conversation, sat on a bar, sat on this rooftop terrace. And then I came to you and you were like, it sounds amazing. Can you really pull it off? And I was like, of course he can, it's Matt.
See,
then we started talking about, go on, Matt. What were you saying?
I was going to say, this wasn't my story to tell. Obviously, this is Jen's story to tell. But yeah, I mean, this is, I mean, part of the reason, it's just the reason why I got involved, and then everything that I've seen in TPO and TPSC since has been, an absolute joy to work with. But yeah, I mean, this is what made me choose this organisation over anything else. I mean, for anybody else listening, I mean, Jen is one of my best friends, and yeah, this is how we made it happen, and this is why it's been such a joy, because I can see how much this organisation has meant to Jen over the years.
It does.
Yeah.
It's so special.
I mean, I'm choked up right now. I mean, you can. Totally choked up, but I'm really grateful that you've shared that, because I know that there are other people out there who have so much trauma in their lives as well, and the choir is that outlet for them where they can be themselves and be safe being themselves. And everything else kind of just disappears for that short period of time that they're there. Like I say, I'm choked up,
It's been a lifeline for me and so many other people.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Jen, thank you for being with us, and thank you for everything that you do behind the scenes. And I promise I won't drag you back in front of the microphone.
Back in the rings, Jen. But we're always so grateful for you being there. Coming up in October, while the rest of you are just getting over summer and starting to think about pumpkin-spiced lattes, our choirs and orchestras are already dusting off their Christmas jumpers and Santa hats in anticipation for our upcoming massed performances.
And tickets are available now for our Duke's Hall London, Dora Stutska Hall Cardiff, Elgar Concert Hall Birmingham and Town Hall Birmingham venues, and they're already selling fast. You can find details of where to purchase them on our social media pages. Thank you for listening to this episode of the People's Orchestra and Show Choir podcast, and tune in again next month. Visit our website thepeoplesorchestra.com and follow the People's Orchestra and the People's Show Choir social media channels.
And if you would like to find out more about how I can help you with making a podcast for your organisation, take a look at my website, audioeditingsecrets.com, and follow my social media, which is Audio Editing Secrets on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok. I've been Matt Ward.
And I've been Chris Webber.
And thank you for listening.